Today is the 27th day of February 2015. It is my last day here for some months and concluding with my beloved friend Pushpa. Pushpa, namaskar. You know, I have known this family for so many years. They have known my wife, Mary Helen, and loved her. And her mother would cook for Mary Helen. We called her Ba. Tell us, Pushpa, when you first heard of Sri Aurobindo and Mother's name.
I heard when I was in Gujarat, and my eldest brother was studying in Pune. And during the movement of Quick India, we were all fighting against the British. So all the colleges and schools were closed. And he had heard of Sri Aurobindo, and he had seen in one of the shops of photographs, perhaps in Pune, and he wanted to come and see him, to come to Pondicherry. So he came with some of his friends.
What year was this?
Sorry.
What year was this approximately?
This was in 1942. So he came with his friends. They stayed for some months and they took up work in the ashram. And my brother didn't want to come back. And so my mother was really very much worried that, you see, now my son is not going to come back. And people used to tell her that, you see, in Pondicherry, there is one French woman who is like a magician, and she puts the charms and nobody comes back. So she was very sick, not sick physically, but psychologically.
Troubled, yes.
So she would ask us every day, please write to your brother that come back, come back, come back. And we often did that. And then my uncle was going to get married. So my mother said, you see, you ask him to come for the marriage. That is the greatest excuse to bring him back. So we wrote to him and he came back. And when he came back, he told us about the ashram. So it took us about 2 years to decide, not to decide, but to, I don't know, how to get that.
Well, for it to
realized.
For it to become realized, yes.
So,
now, did he talk to you about Sri Aurobindo, about seeing Sri Aurobindo?
No, nothing except my brother.
Your brother, yes, your brother.
My brother
yes.
did. And he had brought Mother's and Sri Aurobindo's photos also, signed by them. So, and at that time we were staying in Anand, that is a city of, one of the cities of, not cities, it was a town of Gujarat. But as in Dubai, my eldest brother and Maniben's sister, they had to join the college. In Dubai was already in college, but Maniben had finished her matriculation and then she had to enter into the college studies. And Jayanti Bhai, the younger brother,
yes.
he would also have to do next year. So we shifted from Anand to Baroda, and there we stayed for 1 year. And then in Dubai said, no, we'll go. My mother also said that we'll go to Pondicherry. And in Dubai said, you see, there won't be any difficulty. The school is there. Lilu and Pushpa can study there. So he came with us, with my mother and Lilu and I. And we stayed here. We had rented one small room and we stayed there. But it was so nice. One room. And there was nothing in the room. We had brought bedding, so we used to open out the bed and roll up in the morning. And we used to do our homework, everything, like on them. But we loved it because whole time we 3 in the morning, we went to the dining room at lunchtime, in the evening. So that's how we came to her. And also, before we came, we had to send our photographs to Mother and Sri Aurobindo. In those days, nobody who wanted to come to ashram could come. Mother had to approve and Sri Aurobindo also had to approve whether they can receive us or not or accept us or not. So the photographs were sent and they said, yes, let them come.
For the whole family?
For the whole family. So we came before and Maniben and Jantibai had to finish their exams, so they came 3 months later. So that's how we came to Pondicherry.
Now, what is your first memory of Mother?
Well, the first memory that the day we arrived in the morning and we went to her, as far as I remember, about 10:30 or 11.
Yeah.
But well, when I went to her, I think I was absolutely blank, so I don't know what I felt or how I was.
Many
so I
people
can't say anything.
Yeah. How old were you?
I was 13 years old.
13 years old, yeah.
And then soon, after we came, Maniben's birthday was in March on the 6th. So Mother used to give us for birthday, bouquet. We used to go to her 3 times in the morning with the children at about 11:30, then in the evening. So the day before her birthday, I told Mother, tomorrow is my sister's birthday, but she's not here. So Mother said, all right, you come tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock and I'll see you. That was the time when Mother used to see some other sadhaks also. So I went to her and she gave me a big bouquet and a rose. Then she said, you see, this rose you sent to your sister and this bouquet is for you. So I took the bouquet just like this from her hand. Then she said, no, give me the bouquet. She took that in her hand. She held it how it should be held. And then she said, you see, the bouquet should be held like this.
Yes.
So you see, that was...
Yeah. I have had many requests for you to talk about Jayantibai because he was so loved in the school.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about your brother.
I'm sorry, I can't. Well, one thing I can tell is that I know when he came, he was working in granary.
Oh.
He was given work in granary. So in those days there were no bullock carts or no lorries. They had to carry the grains from granary to the dining room by a cart which was drawn by the sadhaks. So he used to work in granary and also they have to empty the sacks of grains and all that there. Then afterwards, they needed someone in the account office. So mother changed his work to the account office. In Dubai was already working. In Dubai is my eldest brother, Anand Devi's father. And so both of them used to work. They had to finish all the accounts before they closed the department. And mother used to see each account, pie by pie. In those days we had pie, not only paisa, rupees, but pie. So if even one pie was not accounted for, she would point, and she wouldn't like, and nobody would leave the work without everything is perfectly done. Then after some months, mother told him that, you see, now you will work in the school.
Oh, that's one. Oh.
To teach French. Then he said, Mother, but I don't know any word of French. Mother said, doesn't matter. You learn French and you teach French. So that's how he started learning French. He took every occasion to learn French. Whenever there was a French teacher who came or any French visitor came, he would go and learn whatever he could. So that's how he became a French teacher. And he was so good at French that even the French teachers, whenever they had any doubt, they would go to him and say, now, which one is wrong, which one is the correct thing?
And he was very much loved by his students.
Yes, that's true.
Very gentle. Now, tell us about your sisters. Because we have so many things to cover. We have marbling group, we have work with Udar. So,
I haven't worked with Udar. I mean, he knew, but not really worked. Thank you.
So Udar,
Lilu worked mostly with Udar.
mother put her with him to work with him?
After almost finishing the studies, he must have asked, or mother asked her to do, and she was the secretary of Udar till the end. And for my sisters, you ask them, please.
No, tell us about Marbling Group, how it began, the story of Marbling Group. Everybody wants to know that.
Well, Marbling Group really began with Maniben, because she was really fond of art. Even in Gujarat, she was very good for drawing and all that. In the art exams also, she would always stand first. So here when she came, she did join some art classes with the artist.
Who was the artist then? Do you remember?
Jayantilal and Krishnalal, those ones. And then she saw that one lady from Bombay, she was a professor in one of the colleges. She came and showed to Champaklal how to do marbling on paper. And Champaklal did, I think, quite many. And then Gauri also had started. Then Maniben saw also with Gauri. Then she said, I also want to start. So on Sunday, after the work, she would come and try out with colors. So then afterwards, our whole family wanted to do, I mean, just to, to have the fun. It was a fun, not really group or anything, just hobby at home. Mm-hmm. And then I think we made, stationery, envelopes and insert inside. And then some of the American friends, we just gave them as a gift because Maniben and I both were working in Golconda. So we just see, and they loved very much those. And they said, can't you make some more? So we made some more. So as we were making, some of the friends also said that we also want to do marbling with you. So that's how we started, and we were doing in Lilu's room on Sunday, just a little bit, and then we had to dry the papers, everything in her room. You know that, and she has breathing problem, so it wasn't very pleasant. But still on Sunday we did, and more friends came, and mostly we did at night. Because during the daytime everybody had their own work. Then we sent to mother also some of these, and mother liked them very much. So somebody else ordered for some hundreds or thousands of envelopes like this. So we told mother, we have this order, what shall we do? Mother said, never refuse any order. You must do and give them and send them. Then after some time, somebody from America said, I want a cover for big records. There used to be some big records.
Yes.
So I want to make covers for those records. So we made covers for those records. And whatever money we received, we offered to mother. So that's how it started. And then somebody said, you know Marie Krista?
Oh yes, very well.
She said, why don't you try on silk? So
But you were using, how big were the pans?
in the beginning we had only this
yeah,
much.
small at that
so
time
small
for the
one.
cards.
Uh,
Yeah.
So it took lot of time also, you know, to make hundreds of sheets like that. So we tried one on cloth, then one on silk, and it came very beautiful. She said, why don't you make some more? Then one lady from Bombay, she said, you try one sari. We said, but we have nothing to make sari with because it needs so much. And we don't have any tray, nothing. Then we said, all right, we will try out. So without the tray, you know, we have the courtyard outside our, just outside Lilu's
just
room.
outside Lilu's room.
And at that time there was no garden near the rooms. It was open place. So we brought bricks, made a tray just with the bricks, and between the bricks we put some sand. But how to get so much of water to fill up? So we got water from Golconda's canals, you know, those fish canals. We brought water from there and fill up that thing. But as we filled up, the sand would run out. So, but still we tried whatever we could, and with one of the old saris we tried out. It didn't come very beautiful, but we did something.
What medium were you using? Oil?
No, we were using water and oil-based colors.
Oil-based
Oil-based
colors.
colors.
Okay. So it didn't come out so well, the first one.
Didn't come so well. I had kept it with me, but then it was in such a bad condition that I had to reject it. I wish I had kept it for Sunday. And then, how did we do? Then we wanted to do real sheets, paper sheets to supply the orders. But as there was no place to dry hundreds of sheets in our house, so we asked mother if we could do in the laboratory. See, in the laboratory on the ground floor, there is elephant's head, and the room is covered with many tables. So what we used to do, we used to put the elephant's head on one side, And on the table we got one tray made. We asked mother whether we could make a tray and whether we could do on Sunday, because on Sunday there are no classes. So it was free for us, and we asked Joshi, why the gentleman who is in
Joshi.
charge. He said it's all because he also used to work with us, at night to help us. So, but we had to keep the tray whole week. We did only on Sunday. So we used to keep the whole tray in our house, in our veranda, and then we had to take it Sunday morning to the laboratory. So we asked Panoda, Mona's brother, the eldest brother who was there, whether he could give us men, workers, to take the tray, it was very heavy, to the laboratory. So he says, so on Saturday evening, we had to call those men, take the tray in the laboratory, and then before Monday, we had to empty that whole place because the classes would be taken there. So on Monday...
You had to fill it with water also.
Yes, we had to empty the water.
Yeah.
We used to tie strings on the two adjacent classes to dry the papers. So Monday morning, before the classes started, we had to remove the tray, so we used to call the men before the school started to take back the tray to our house, go to laboratory, remove all the papers and strings and bring them all home. Then it was a little difficult because so many people were involved and put in difficulty. And in those days, the exhibition hall was not used throughout. Only perhaps 3-4 times per year. So it was free. And it was in charge of these artists, Krishna Lal and Jayanti Lal. So we asked them if we could keep the tray there, because on Sunday we will need. And then all the colors and everything we had to take home for the whole week. So he said, yes. So they gave us one small room where we could keep all our materials, keep the tray on one side. So every Sunday then we could go straight to work there, and there was no need of bringing it back or taking back all the colors and everything back home. That lasted for quite long. Then mother said, you see, I want to give some permanent place to you.
Oh.
Because whatever we needed, we told her. And she said, whatever you need, whatever help you want, you tell me and I will help you in everything. Then the building which is now built for Marbling Group was a terrace. And we used to send whatever money we offered to her. Then she said, you see, now don't offer me any money. You keep the money with you, and with that money, you build the place. On that terrace, I give you the terrace, and you build this building. So that's how we got the Marbling Group place, and how we could keep everything there, and how it developed. So we used to get many orders for scarves, saris, and then gradually those who were working only on Sunday, they also came on other days. They came on Sunday. In the beginning we used to marble only on Sunday, even in the marbling department. Our whole family and some of the friends. And there we could work right from the morning till the evening. And it was really a joy. Everybody was so happy to work together. So we used to...
So you began doing saris?
We had begun making saris. And then we got orders from all over the country, all over the world, almost from all the countries. But it was always, I think it was the group which was there. Now it is not so harmonious as before, but I think it's due to Mother's really grace and help. And those who were there, they were really dedicated, you know.
I remember, could you tell a little bit about Charles? Because Charles would always work with you.
He always worked with us. And sometimes, you know, the orders they wanted in few days or in few weeks. So people used to work even till 10 o'clock, till 11 o'clock. And they never minded. They did so happily. They would go home, have their bath and lunch or dinner and come back and start work.
Now, Maniben once told me that the marbling was not doing well at one point.
Yes.
And she asked Mother if you could close it. You remember this?
No, I don't remember that.
What Maniben told me was that Mother said, "You don't close it, I have my occult reasons. It must stay open." Very interesting.
I had heard that about Ravindraji. You see, Ravindraji used to give fruits to all sadhaks.
Yes.
And there were no fruits. So he told Mother, sometimes there is a family of 5 persons and I have to give only 1 banana to them. So can't we stop it? Mother said, no. Even if there is 1 banana, you give them 1 banana. Because that occult reason is there, and plus you said the adverse forces are trying to destroy or to stop all that I want to do. And that Ravindraji told Maniben. But if Mother has told her, that I don't know.
Yeah. Now, I wanted to ask you about some of the older sadhaks that you knew and that you were close to, because there were so many wonderful souls here in those early
I
days.
can tell you.
But you also saw Sri Aurobindo.
Sorry?
You saw Sri Aurobindo, didn't you?
I did see Sri Aurobindo. But then too, when I saw Sri Aurobindo, I was zero. Really, I felt nothing. So how can I tell?
Yeah.
And even when when we went to Mother, I saw only Mother's eyes. Some people came and told me, did you see what sari Mother had worn? Did you see how her crown was? I said, no, I didn't see. I saw only her, you see. So I don't know anything else about reading.
Yeah.
But I can tell you how I found, or how it was when we came. You see, when we came, there was no playground. And in the old school, the school was behind Mother's room, at present, which is in the playground. There was this small house. And there we had on the first ground 3-4 rooms. And downstairs there were also 3-4 rooms. And there was a big courtyard. So mostly, I think there were only 4 or 5 classes. Right from 4 or 5 years children to 14, 15. And then there was no playground. So Mother had arranged with 2 ladies to stay in the evening with us. We used to sit in the courtyard and play just sitting games, like carom and snake and ladder, those kind of games. And then at about 6:30, we were taken to the ashram, because it's about 6:37, Mother used to come on that circular terrace for meditation. People used to go and sit earlier, and Mother would come and concentrate or bless us. I don't know what she did. So during that time, children were not allowed to go inside the ashram. So after those games, we used to come and sit outside the ashram on the footpath, and wait for the parents or those who had guardians also sit there. And then they would take us home. So in the beginning, the playground was like this. And then after some time, there were one or two elderly persons who used to make us play in the playground. The playground was little different in those days. And after playing, we had no uniform or anything. We used to play with our daily dress. You know, some girls in Punjabi, boys in shirts or in saris. And after the play, we would be given, mother would send in a basin, jaggery, and pieces of coconut, so big coconut pieces.
Oh.
And Ravindraji, you knew Ravindraji,
Oh, yeah.
isn't it? He would come with that, sit at the gate, and to each one he would give us the coconut piece filled with jaggery. Then afterwards, when mother started coming to the playground, we were not so many, so everybody stood in a line, and mother would every evening would bring either a toffee or a banana, or in the season of maize, she would get the maize steamed or boiled, buttered, wrapped up in a butter paper, and to each of us she would give that.
This was before she started giving groundnuts.
Yes, and after this she started groundnuts. And for groundnuts also we used to stand in a line. Not the whole line not the whole length of the playground, because there were short lines. And then she would give groundnuts, and afterwards she got some bags made in silk, and they were all filled with groundnuts. So to each one she gave the bag. And at the end, before going home, we had to give that empty bag to Ravindraji, who would be sitting at the gate. But afterwards, the bag system stopped because they were missing. The number was always missing. Then she started giving groundnuts herself. A girl, you know Usha, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
She would walk with mother with the basin of groundnuts, and mother with a spoon to give to each one. And then afterwards she found that everybody didn't eat all the groundnuts that she gave. Some perhaps had some medical reason or not. Then she said one day that, you see, those who want only one or two or few, please tell me when I distribute. So everybody had to tell how much she or he wanted. And I always told her, plein mer, I want a full spoon of groundnuts. Then one day she, oh, you are my good, bon crier. And I was happy because I really wanted, and it was so nice to get groundnuts from her.
You remember how it was on your birthdays? When you went to mother on your birthday?
When I went on my birthday, I always wept without any reason. And I always wanted, and mother would say, why? And I don't know why, but just I wept. I wept and wept and wept, nothing else. So that every birthday was like this.
Isn't that something?
But it wasn't that I was sad or I was sorry, I had some trouble, nothing. Just tears would flow.
Silent tears.
So you see, I had my birthday like that.
Did you know Nolini?
I knew Nalini, but not personally.
Ah.
I didn't know.
What about Amrita?
Huh?
Amrita.
Amrita also, no. But I liked Amrita very much. I was very fond of him. Nalini, I don't know, I found him little aloof from me.
Who was the one you remember the most? Pranab, Pavitra,
Both of them. Pavitra was my teacher.
Purani. Pavitra was your teacher.
Pavitra was our teacher. I mean, he used to take our maths, science. So for many years, we had every day 2 or 3 classes of him. And then sometimes we would say, Pavitra, you have given us homework for this physics, you have given homework for the chemistry, and you are giving homework for the maths. How can we finish this? He used to say, that you think that this is another teacher, this is another teacher. But he was very good, very good.
And did you do sports?
Sorry?
Sports? Did you do sports?
He did. He or
You?
I did sports, yes.
What was your favorite?
My favorite was tennis and basketball. And tennis, I remember, it's funny. I tell you about our race also, and I tell you about tennis. We used to do playground activities. In the beginning, only our Punjabi or saris. And then mother chose pajama and a loose shirt for us.
Oh.
And there used to be one belt. So we did all our athletics, gymnastics or games in that dress. Then one day, she had asked Milidi, you remember me, to come in shorts and shirts. So she came in the evening in shirt and shorts, and she called our whole group towards the west side of the playground, and we all stood around her, and she called Mili, they'll come in the center. So she came, then mother said, you see, I want all of you to start wearing shirts and shorts. So we were happy, there was no objection to it. Then she sent us all to Albert Bhai. He is our tailoring department head. And he took our measurements and made the shirts and shorts. And one day when they were all ready, he brought to the playground, where mother, afterwards, after distribution in standing, she used to sit down and give the distribution, groundnuts or whatever she had brought. And that day, to all the girls, I mean, those who were in the group, as that girl came, she would give the dress, her own dress. I mean, her means the girl's dress in her hand. Then, like that, she distributed us our first playground dresses. And then after some time, if a shirt got torn, so she would replace it, and then Albert Bhai would stitch, he would bring to the playground where mother was distributing, and suppose my shirt was torn, when I would go to her, she would give me my new shirt. You see, that's how much care she took. And I think in 45 or 46, there was a flambeau, this Pondicherry, what is it called? When the French Revolution started, what was that called? 14th of July.
Yes.
So on the 14th of July, some of the schools used to march in the evening all through the Pondicherry roads, the main roads. And one day, the head of the police, he was a Frenchman, and he was very much attached to the mother. He would come often to see mother. And then he wanted, or mother wanted, I don't know, ashram boys to join also. So the ashram boys joined one year. The second year, mother wanted girls also to join, because in those days, girls would never join this procession or anything.
And marching.
Marching, yes,
Yes.
in this, with lights and band.
Oh,
Then mother said that I want girls also to join that flambeau. You must have seen flambeau here, haven't you? So she got stitched special dresses for us, trousers and white shirt with her symbol embroidered. Every girl had to embroider her own symbol and stitch it. And that's how the flambeau for girls started, and that was our special dress. Afterwards, all the girls who joined ashram or who came, they were so happy to see that special dress. And even in marching and march past, now the boys are leading, when we do march past in this sports ground or even in the playground. But mother always kept the girls in front. It is girls who were the first, then the boys.
I see.
And even among the girls, she chose 12 girls. And she said those who were really marching well. And she said these 4 girls, not 4, sorry, 16. 16 girls, 16 or 12, I have forgotten, would be first in the march past.
Because they marched the best.
Yes.
I see. Setting the example.
Yes.
Now you're going to tell us about tennis.
About?
Your tennis.
And those 12 or 16 girls, mother said, you 12 or 16 girls have to put my symbol on your shirt. So we were lucky to be chosen and have her symbol every day. But afterwards she said that the whole group, she wanted one symbol to be put when we go to the playground. And it lasted for quite many years. And it was like orangish. Mother wanted supramental color. So Albert Bhai went to the shop. He brought many different colored, what he thought that it is supramental. But she chose one particular color. She said, no, this is the color that you buy for the symbols. And it was very much like this light color on the
Mm-hmm. Like a light
more
orange.
pinkish, more pinkish than that. But there is one flower, hibiscus.
Yes, beauty of supramental love.
I think that was the
Yes,
color.
that's the
That
color,
was the
yeah.
color of
Yes.
our
It's also the flower of Oroville.
flower of
Oroville.
Oroville. Yes,
Yes,
that's
yes.
the color. For my tennis,
Yeah.
before only boys were playing tennis, not the girls. Then mother wanted girls also to play tennis. So one day in the evening, when we were there, she called us and she said, come, I want you to play tennis. So she took us in that old school, which was behind the mother's room at the moment in the playground. There was one house, I said, where there were classes. So she took us there in one of the classes. She sat in a teacher's place and we sat on the benches, and she took the names, all those who wanted to play tennis. And the timing also, we had only 2 or 3 days in the morning to play, and from 6 to 7:30 or something like that. So we asked everyone, what are the hours? that you would like, suppose I would like to go from 6 to 6:30, so everybody had to give the hours of playing. And she took the names. Then I gave my name also. And when I went down after giving then I told mother, I don't want to play tennis. Please cancel my game. And mother looked at me, not at all pleased. So I said, all right, I'll play. And we played, and I was quite a good player. And every year after that, mother would choose our partners. We used to have tournaments. So she would choose a boy as a partner, mixed doubles and doubles, ladies. Yeah. And for each one, she would choose, suppose she would choose my partner, everybody else's partners, not that we chose ourselves. She would choose, she would write down. And same with the doubles, my partner, which girl with whom I'll play. So this lasted for quite many years. And one year, in mixed doubles, we were the champion. So mother gave us a cup. So I told, you know Chandu Bhai, did you see him?
Chandu Bhai.
Chandu Bhai.
I remember vaguely.
He was my partner. So when I went, she gave the cup. Mother, somebody used to call our name, and we used to go to her and get the present or she used to make a card, write our name, whether we are first in this one, second in this one, for all items, athletics or gymnastics, everything. And then for this also she would give us a card, and those who were runners-up and champions, she would give a cup. So I told Chandu Bhai, you go and receive. He said, you go and receive. So I went to her and she gave me the cup. It was both of us went there. So that's my tennis.
Wonderful.
And one year, after the tournament, when mother was giving such presents, we all sat in the playground, group-wise. When everybody was given, then my name was called. So I didn't get up because I thought perhaps it is somebody else. Why my name? I have already got my present. Then my friend said, Pushpa, go, she is calling you. So I went there and she gave me a big present. She gave me a racket, tennis racket.
Oh.
And I was so surprised and so happy. Oh. And next day Uda told me, Pushpa, you know, mother wanted to give that racket to the person who has made the greatest progress this year in tennis. Oh. So that is my tennis story.
Did you see mother play tennis?
Oh
Did you
yes,
watch her?
almost every day.
Tell us a little bit about that. What was it like to see her play tennis?
Oh, what to say? I can say she was very concentrated full time, and her strokes were very strong, very hard. And most of the boys who played, she played with certain number of boys, 5 games each. Oh. Suppose she would play 5 games with one boy, 5 games with another boy. Mother and Prananda will be on one court, and 2 boys on the opposite court. And mother's right hand was very strong. So everybody wanted to give the ball on her right hand. That's I remember. And one day she gave us kitty cap. We didn't have kitty cap. We used to play with our two plates or one plate, whatever the girls like. Then she said, you see, I want your hair to be tight when you play or when you do athletics or gymnastics. So she gave one of the samples of her own kitty cap to someone. I think it was Kusum and Kumud's sister, the eldest sister. She stitched the kitty caps. And when all the kitty caps were ready, she gave to mother, and mother distributed the kitty caps. And she said, tomorrow everybody should come in the kitty caps. So everybody wore kitty cap and played or whatever items they had to do. I had that day basketball, which was in the tennis ground, tennis ground. Afterwards, there are two courts. So I had that day basketball. And mother finished her tennis and she came out. And she saw that I don't have the kitty cap. I have gone without the kitty cap. And I didn't wear the kitty cap because, you see, it was not completely stitched. Some portion was unstitched. And I thought, well, if I wear, perhaps it will open out more. But luckily, I had taken the kitty cap with me to the playground. So she came after playing tennis. She stood there and she watched and she called me. She said, where is your kitty cap? I told mother, you see, it is like this. So I didn't wear. They said, where is it? She spoke in French. Where is? I said, mother, I brought it, it is there. So I ran and brought the kitty cap and showed to her. So she took it and tied it on my head. And then she said, while tying, she would say, you see, when you tie your kitty cap, you should cover your whole forehead, your eyebrows. You see, it is for protection, not only for the hair, for head, forehead, eyes. You see, it protects everything. So she tied. And then after the play, we went to the playground. All of us used to go to the playground because afterwards there was march past and there was marching and everybody joined, not only the blue group, but all groups, white, red, green, those who wanted. So we all went to the playground. So many of my friends came and said, Pushpa, how have you tied your kitty cap? It's so low. I said, yes, it is to be tied like that. Mother has tied it. So you see, because many girls, they tie like this. And some hair also is seen. And at the back also they keep the hair down. But all that she didn't like. No, she wanted, it doesn't serve the purpose. Its real purpose is to tie the hair to protect the forehead and the eyes.
Yes.
So that's the kitty cap story.
Wonderful story.
And then I can tell about her one thing. Whenever we'd had any problem, we used to tell mother that, mother, I am sick today, I have headache today. I didn't dare to tell all those things to her and take her time. But for some time I used to get chest pain. So I told mother, I am getting the pain here. Then she said, you see, you cover your shoulder with a warm cover and it will go. And it worked miracles. And I used to get often cough, very bad cough. Especially it would come when I am in the class or when we are waiting for the mother. So one day I told her, mother, I am getting terrible cough. Then she said, all right. You take hot milk before going to bed. Then she said, do you have any means to heat up your milk at home? Luckily, my mother had brought one Primus stove from Gujarat. I said, yes, mother, I have. Then she said, do you have honey? I said, no, mother, I don't have honey. Then she said, you go to Ravindraji. He used to keep mother's honey and ask him for honey. So I went to him and she said, you see, you make the milk hot and take a spoonful of honey and drink it hot. So I went to Ravindraji and I told Ravindraji, mother had asked me to get some honey from you. So he said, I had gone immediately in the evening. So he said, you come in the morning, I'll give you. So I went in the morning, then he said, you come in the evening and I'll give you. So I went in the evening, then he said, you come tomorrow morning. So like this it continued for 3 days. Then I thought, now I won't go anymore. But I was afraid that if mother asks me, what shall I tell her?
Yes.
So after 3 days, he said, when I went, that was the last time, I said, this is the last time I go. I went to him, he gave me the honey. And he said, you know, I asked mother whether she asked me to give honey to you. He wasn't getting chance to ask her whether he should give honey to me. So when I told her, mother, have you asked me to give honey to Pushpa? Mother said, I am not asking you, I am ordering you to give honey to Pushpa. And you see, I took hot milk and honey in 1 day. Half had already gone, you see. So in 1 week I was completely cured. She took so much personal care, not only me, for every child. There is one gentleman, you have to go. No, now we can stop.
No.
You know Praveen? Yeah. Praveen Nagada?
Praveen, yeah.
Kusum's brother. When he was a child, he was not very strong and he needed egg. Mother said he needs to eat egg. But he is from a Jain family. You know, they don't eat meat or egg or anything. Yes. So mother said, but you see, we can't give him egg. He can't take it home because they don't, it's not their custom to eat egg and it's not good. So she asked Mona that, you see, make the egg flip with honey and beat the egg. And then she asked Praveen to go to Mona's house and every day to drink the egg flip. And one day my mother wasn't well. She was vomiting and she had diarrhea. So one evening, when I saw mother in the evening, I said, Mother, my mother is not well. She has this problem. Then mother said, but you see, in the morning, in the balcony, I had seen her. You see, out of hundreds of people, 200-300 or more, she saw each and every person and said, but yes, I saw her in the balcony, she was there. There was one American gentleman who was sick and he couldn't go to the balcony darshan. When she was coming on the first floor balcony,
yes.
Then she told Uda, you see, today that gentleman hasn't come to the balcony. You see, and we, at least I always thought, how can mother see each and every one, out of hundreds? But she noticed each and every one. She stood there only for such a short time. And
I wanted to ask you about your work in Sri Aurobindo's room.
You naughty girl.
Yes.
Mother's Sri Aurobindo's room was renovated, and at that time, during those, I think some months or weeks, I don't remember, Sri Aurobindo was staying in that room where now mother's chair is there, opposite to
Yes.
darshan room.
Yes.
And that room was completely renovated. After the room was over, we were asked to go and clean the room perfectly, the floor and everything. So we used to go in the evening to scrub the floor, to clean the floor, to make it as perfect as possible. And she would come there while we are working. She would come with a plate of biscuits to give us. But our hands would be all dirty and wet. So she would put biscuit in our mouths to each of us.
How beautiful. Yeah. Did your sisters fall ill at any time? And mother saw them or healed them?
Yes. When Maniben was in Golkon, she used to prepare tea. At 3 o'clock, all the residents used to come down.
Yes. Yes.
And then one day while she was preparing tea, the boiling hot water fell on her and she was all burnt. The skin also came out. So, and she couldn't do anything. And mother was told. So one evening, mother came to see her, and I don't know what she did, but she came to see her, and then while going out from her room, mother told Mona that, you see, she has got a perfect Grecian figure. Now it is all spoiled, but she had a very beautiful figure.
And she healed up? She healed?
She is healed up
Well.
now. Soon, it took some time, but it is completely healed up.
Wonderful. Any other stories you could tell us about Mother? We would be so happy to hear. Any remembrances you have of Mother?
That means I had noted out something.
Yes, please.
If I when Sri Aurobindo's room was renovated, all furniture was remade, completely new. And I think it is Udar who designed it. So to choose the wood, mother went to Kadlur one morning at about 9 or so. And she went to the wood go down, whatever it is called, to the go down where they sell the wood, big logs.
Yeah.
And she chose that this one, this one, this one, this one. And while she was coming out of that go down, she stopped at the door. And somebody asked, Mother, why have you stopped here? Then she said, you see, there is one log which is calling me. It's telling me, take me, please. So mother went to that log and told the shopkeeper, please send this log also to us. And when the logs were brought to the station, it was brought in a train wagon, and we had to empty that place soon, as fast as possible, in one day. But how to carry those logs to the workshop, even to the place where they should be stored, and that was near our sports ground. there is one place where they make now cement blocks.
Ah,
But how to carry all those logs there, because there were no lorries, nothing. So all the children and also some elderly people at night, they rolled the logs on the road and took them to that place.
And in which year it was?
Sorry?
what year was it?
Perhaps 45, 46, something like that. There was, I don't know whether this interests you or not. There was one visitor in who used to come for darshan and stay in Golkond. And there were two sisters who were also staying in Golkond. And they thought that man is very bad. He's looking at us whole time, he's teasing us, though the man did nothing. He used to go to his room, but he said, while he's coming down, you see, he's looking always at us. So, I don't know how, but mother was told about it. So, mother asked Ravindra that tomorrow when I go down for pranam, giving pranam, you come with him. So next day, Ravindraji went with him to the mother, and mother saw him. And then she went up and she said, he is one of the best visitors at this time. You see, so it was shocking that how we misjudge the people.
Yeah.
I don't know whether this interests you or not.
Very much, very much.
Then she used to go to department turn by turn. And one day, this was also quite in 40s or early 50s, she came to the dining room. And then she saw that, you see, there were two rooms, but the doors between the two rooms were closed. So mother asked, why these doors are closed? You know, in the dining room there is one big room, first room, and then there is second room now where they serve. Before it was a sitting room where people used to sit down and eat. So the first room was for men, and the second room was ladies. So somebody explained to her, mother, this is for the men and this is for the ladies. So the doors are closed. Mother said, open them out. People can sit anywhere they like, whether lady or man, nothing. And then also we had taking our dish. The boys or the men had to enter from where we enter, and the ladies had to enter from that washing place, go round, and then enter into the serving place. And the serving room was a small room which is now where they keep the bread. I don't know if you have seen bread boxes. That was the serving room. So the men had to enter from that and girls had to enter this. So mother said, no distinction. Everybody goes in the same way, whether it is a man or a girl or a boy or a man. So did you know Maria Bell? That was one Australian lady who used to do sculptures.
No, I didn't know.
And one day she had made small size of mother's bust, about 10 or 12. And she wanted to show to mother, so mother gave her a particular time, that was afternoon, about 2:30 or so. And they were 10, 12, so they were quite heavy. So she asked me, Pushpa, can you come with me to help? We'll take to mother. I said, sure. So happy to do that. So we took whatever work she had done to mother, and mother saw them. And then when she saw me, she said, Ça va, mon enfant? So I had told yes, because I had a cough just before that, and she had given me that honey and milk instruction to drink. So I told yes, mother. And then mother gave us flowers and whatever. So she told Maria Bell, you see, the head, proportion of head and the proportion of the body should be like this. I think she said about 10th of whole length, the head, and the rest is the body. At the 10th or 12th, I don't remember well. And then we came down. Then Maria Bell told me, Pushpa, do you know what mother told you? I said, no. She said, bonjour, mon enfant. She said, she told you, mon enfant. But I found it, it was normal because she always addressed mon enfant or mon petit. And just at that time I knew that word mon enfant has the value to be called mon enfant, because so long I used to find that it's natural that mother calls us mon enfant or mon petit. So she said, oh, she called you mon enfant, mon enfant. So you see, since it gave me the real value of what it means. Even in the beginning, when mother gave us saris, when we went to mother, she used to keep this, just before darshan, 3 or 4 days before darshan, she used to distribute saris. And it was on the end of the staircase, meditation staircase, near the door she would stand, and at the back there would be a bench on which the saris would be kept. Sometimes the saris had different colors of borders or different colors. So when we went to see her, she would tell, "Viens mon enfant," she would hold the hand, take to the bench and say, "Now choose which one you like." And then she would give us that. And there were some children, some girls, whose mother used to come for darshan, but they were staying here in boarding. So mother would give to that girl or the boy that, you see, your mother will be coming for darshan, so this is for her, for your mother. And one year she distributed her own saris to all the sadhikas. For choosing the saris, she had a list of everyone. She would choose for each one a particular sari. Not that, well, this one is for this one is not like that. Sometimes she couldn't choose a sari for a particular person. So she will leave that for 1 or 2 days. And then she would see that, yes, this is the one that should go to that girl. Sometimes for 1 week, she won't choose for that person. And then, that's the one. You see how particular she was for choosing. And my aunt, she used to go only once a year for darshan in August. Though she was not a sadhika or not staying here, she was there while she was distributing her own, these were all her own saris worn by her. She gave to my aunt also one of her saris. So, I mean, for her, I think all were her children, not this one who stay here or those who stay outside,
Yes,
nothing
yes,
like that. Even for the playground, some of the visitors or some of the boys who were not staying here but would come when they were free for 1 week or 2 weeks or for a month. They arrived in the morning or they arrived in the evening. But when we were marching, when there was marching going on or concert, they would come in their uniform and they would march with all the others.
Oh.
Not that, oh, you're out of group, you can't do this, not that. They were all her children.
Yes.
She accepted all, even for tennis. There was one boy I remember who used to come and stay for a few days. So when he came, he could play tennis, basketball, and it was so nice. There was no difference between you and us or me. It was all were mother's children. And you have read Preeti Das's book.
Yes.
I think it is there or somewhere I read. One day mother told her, you see, she used to go out for long ride. Mother used to go out for long ride and she liked long rides and fast. So one day while she was coming back and sitting in the car, going to sit in the car, there was one cobra who was coming. So, but Pavitrada started driving and the girl asked mother, she said that there was cobra. Then the girl asked mother, didn't you kill it? Then mother said, how can I am the mother. See? So she's mother of everyone.
Yes.
And often we used to have cinema. Perhaps not so often, not every Saturday, but whenever there was a good film. And mother would sit with us, she would sit after the all group activities, after all the distribution, in front of the screen. I mean, everybody sat in front, but she would sit and around us everybody else sat. Whether it was raining or not raining. Especially I remember there was a film, Emile Zola, Jacques.
Jacques, yes.
So it was pouring down like anything, and nobody would get up, and mother sat all through in that rain. And the next time when we saw Emile Zola, it happened the same. And it's not only for Emile Zola, but many films, quite often, not quite often, but sometimes, it was in a rainy season, so it would rain, and she would keep sitting through. And even that marching, now what they do, it was marching for every group. Even it was raining, she would sit during the whole marching there, where her chair is, and people would march. And once they showed us this Treasure Island. You have seen it?
Yes. Robert Louis Stevenson.
Oh,
Yes, yes.
and it was so hard to say. Well, I found it very, I couldn't see. I found it
Disturbing?
uh,
Disturbing?
disturbing, and also, I don't get the word. And then I was all through shivering, shaking because I couldn't see that pirate black and with one eye closed in black. To me, he was like a devil. So as soon as when he appeared on the screen, I would close my eyes. And even after the film was over, I was shaking. I went to the ashram. Mother used to, after the playground, she went to the ashram. So Lilu, I, and one or two persons, we used to always go and stand before her car came then. And I stood there, still I was shivering. I sat for half an hour near the samadhi just to cool down. But I couldn't succeed. And at the end I went home. After that film, Mother said, now every film I will see, whether it is to be shown or it's not for me, but I think many other children must have felt the same horror. And she would see each film that was to be shown to us. And she would say, yes, this you show and this you don't show. And for that, how much time she spent. Suppose a film was 1 hour. After whole playground activity, she would see in the playground the film and then go home. And once we had the film in Tamil, which was 7 hours. So it was divided into 2 days. One day we saw three and a half. And the other day 3. So even through all these long films, she would sit amongst us and watch the film and choose the film.
How wonderful.
You must have heard about all these, haven't you?
I heard some interesting things. Manoj told me one time that Mother said, I don't want my children to be exposed to these Shakespearean plays with so much murder and
Yes.
insanity and everything. And he said Mother didn't allow those certain Shakespearean plays to be shown.
And if there was any good film outside, not in the ashram, I remember in the beginning we didn't have any films. There was one film which was, I don't remember the name. She wanted us to see. So, and there was one theater, it was called Shandar. She got that whole theater cleaned. And then she said, you take the children to see that particular film.
Oh.
And there was one play, Monsieur Jourdain, that is a French play. And the film had come, so Mother said, you see, he told Pavitrada, that you take your whole class to see that film. So he took us to see that film, which was not here but some other place. So you see, she wanted that her children should see good films and also some particular ones, not any. And she would choose and say, yes, you take them. Even if nobody asked her, she would say, you take the children there and show them. We had once one Russian film, and it was very good. So she got one theater cleaned, and she said, this afternoon, I want all of you to go and see that film.
Oh my goodness.
And so the whole theater was cleaned for us. She came with us the whole afternoon, and we saw. It was very beautiful. So that's how she took care in all particular way. What else can I tell you? Oh, I have one more thing. I think this was in 45, 46. We have a field casino, casino.
Yes.
So there were no, the paddy was ready, but there was nobody to harvest it. So she said, let the children go and harvest it. So that day we didn't have school. People, they didn't mind the school. It was also, school was a play. So we had a breakfast in Manoranjan Ganguly's place. No? They used to stay next to the playground. So the breakfast was brought from the dining room. We went to his house. We had our breakfast, bread, milk and banana. And there was a lorry which was waiting out. So we all sat in the lorry and we were taken to casino. And there we had all given a sickle. We didn't know how to use the sickle. So they showed that you hold the, whatever it is called, I don't know, all the sherb. In French it is sherb. Stalk with the paddy corn.
Yes.
You hold few of them and then you cut from down.
Right.
So everybody started cutting. So some people started cutting, some collecting, some taking to the place. So we worked from morning till about 12. Then we had a nice hot lunch. Then in the afternoon, we started again. And in the evening, mother would come there in casino, and she would come with oranges, groundnuts, and some sweet. And there was one cemented place, not ground, but it was solid.
Mm-hmm.
And we would all go there. Perhaps it was a harvesting place, I don't know.
Maybe.
And we would all gather around her. She would distribute all this to us. We would sit around her and enjoy. On the first of every month, we had the prosperity. Mother used to come to the prosperity room at about 1:30, 1:45. And the children used to stand in that small terrace, where just opposite to Samadhi, there is a staircase and there is a terrace. So the children used to stand and wait for her. Some stood facing the Samadhi and some were near the Pavijada's room side. And as she came, those who were standing near the steps of Pavijada's room, they would say a prayer to her. She would stand and listen to the prayer. Then she would walk to the other group. And there were two boys who were chosen to say, Nous sommes à toi pour éternité.
I don't understand.
We are for you for eternity. Or we are to you for eternity. I don't know how to translate. And other children would repeat this same prayer, and then she would go up to their prosperity room. And there, for each one a box was kept for all the items that was needed for that particular person. We had to write down on a piece of paper 2 days before the first of every month. And do you know Harikant? Harikant was in charge of prosperity, so he would stand with a chit pad, and in the evening to everybody he would give that piece of paper, and we had to write what we need, either soap or toothbrush, and we had to give him back that note. And they would give for each person whatever the person has asked. And when we went to mother, she would give us our box, whatever we had asked for. But afterwards, it became too much. So we went to mother. She gave us either a sweet or something. And then they would give us our box. Harikants would give us the box. And one day, as she was coming to Prosperity, she stood near her window, that is a corridor passage. And then nobody knew why at once she stood there. Then from the window she saw Parichanda. You knew Parichanda, isn't it? He was cutting one rose. And it was on a terrace. Sorry, I have to break my sentences. Now there is a room opposite to Samadhi on the southern side where somebody stays. And upstairs, now they have built one room or one apartment. But in those days, there was only one terrace, open terrace. And Parichanda had his rose garden there. He was in charge of the gardens. And he had planted roses there. So while she was coming, she saw Parichanda cutting the rose. It was very hot, at about 1:30 or so. So she called Parichanda. Parichanda, what are you doing? She asked him not to cut the rose because it was not good for the rose to cut at that time. And Parichanda was cutting because it was someone's birthday. And that person wanted to take the rose to the mother. So you see how particular she was for us. And now on every first, the school has a holiday. In the beginning, we didn't have a holiday on the first. We used to have classes up to 11:30, and then we went to the mother. As every day. Every day the mothers or school children at 11:30 after school. So on the first, as mother had to come for the Prosperity, she used to hasten her programs to make as fast as possible. And before 11:30, she used to come on the terrace which is above her room. Now there is a room, but before it was a flat terrace, whole terrace. And there was a small staircase also to go up. So at 11:30 she would go up, walk right from east to west, go and stand, because all people would be standing there down to have her darshan. But on the first, as she was coming, doing her work early as fast as possible, from the school the children were called. Ravindraji would come to the school and say, Mother has already come out for terrace darshan. It was called terrace darshan. Yes. So we would stop the classes and run to the ashram. So as it continued, so in the morning and in the afternoon there was this Prosperity. So we had the class in the morning, and in the afternoon we had no class. But now I think the whole day of the first is a holiday in the school. Yes. But in the beginning we didn't have. And when we went to mother at 11:30, we used to take flowers. The room which is now opposite to Samadhi on the southern side was a flower room. So all the flowers of the ashram were brought there. Some of them which were given to Sri Aurobindo's room or mother's room, mother used to distribute each one at different times flowers. So they were taken up, but many other flowers were kept for these others. They could choose whatever they like and take when they went to mother. So we would run from the school and get the flowers that we really wanted. So when we went to mother, we could give her. And she would stand near that room where I said that she used to keep saris. That was the place where she would see us. So we would give our flowers and she would keep in 2-3 dishes some flowers on her right hand side. There used to be a cupboard there and she would receive our flowers, keep them there, and she had also some more flowers. And for each child, she would choose a particular flower and give. And there were 3 flowers she gave to every child. That was obedience, psychological perfection, and solicitude. These 3 were given to every child, plus she would add whatever the child needed or whatever she wanted or whatever the child wanted. And then one by one we'll go down. Some of them went down and went home, or I don't know. Some of us used to wait in the staircase. On 2 sides we would wait and others could go and see mother. At the end, she would come out at the door and then wish us many things. And we were very few because you see, the staircase was enough to hold all the children.
Oh.
And I remember after the school, sometimes we could finish our classes before mother came out from the terrace. And that circular terrace, which is over Diwan's room, was completely open. That the service room was very small. So all her windows, all the terrace was visible to everyone. So some of 2-3 friends of mine and I, we would go on that staircase, which is before we go into the meditation hall, there is one staircase where they give dhoop, incense sticks, We would go and stand right at the top of the staircase. And then we could see mother coming out from her room for the terrace darshan. In the corner of the room, there used to be one stand with mother's umbrellas. So she would stand there, choose the umbrella, and then she would come out. So we wanted to see her right from the beginning. And then she would come around the circular terrace to see everyone who was standing waiting down, and then she would go up and come down. There were 2-3 times when a crow used to come and sit near her door while she was coming out. She would wait, talk to the crow, go in, bring a biscuit, and then put in his mouth. And also in certain seasons, 2-3 years I saw, there used to be one big pot on that circular terrace where tomatoes, one plant of tomato was grown, and it had yellow tomatoes, with this oval shape.
Yeah.
And Chinmay would be there by her side, so she would go in, bring a plate, and mother would select the tomato and take in. What else can I say? When mother distributed those special saris of hers, she gave also to the small girls. They were perhaps 10-12 years old. And somebody told her, "Mother, why are you giving them? They don't wear saris." So mother said, "No, they don't wear now saris. But on occasion, certain occasion, they will wear the saris, my saris. What else can I tell of her? Something that I remember. Mother started our class because in this school, as the number of children started increasing, and the class number of classes also started increasing. And one year, we didn't have any teacher for French. So Mother said, all right, I will take that class. So how that translation class and the class. So in the beginning we were only the classmates and very few. Perhaps in the beginning there were no others. No others. And she would come, take our roll call, who has come, who has not come. And then gradually it started first it started in conversation classes, then it turned into translation class. All the French books that she has translated, they were done in our class. And then from that, it became outside for everybody.
Pushpa, thank you so much.
Welcome. I hope I have.
It's been very, very special.
Not at all. I don't know how it is. I have never spoken a complete sentence or perfect English.
Well, you have run 1 hour and 45 minutes.